Hey everyone, you're watching my build and level walkthrough of the dungeon Frostmaw Burrows. I'd like to start explaining the builds and the way they are supposed to be used. The team build consists of a solo assassin and the main group consisting of a caller and 6 spikers. Let's quickly run through the skills, starting with the solo bar. The first thing some of you might notice is that this bar is identical to the build the solo Frostmaw runner would use. This is very true, but this doesn't mean we'll be using it in the exact same way. Anyway, the build consists of pretty basic terror skills. You have Shadow Form and Shroud of Distress, which you are supposed to keep up throughout the entire dungeon. You have Armor of Earth and Dark Escape to reduce damage, IU to prevent knockdowns, and Abbon Battle Stand of Honor and Sliver Armor to deal damage. Death Charge is also in the bar. This skill enables you to jump to foes while functioning as an additional healing skill. Please note that Sliver Armor not only deals damage to your attackers, it also adds a 45% chance to block incoming attacks. This is very helpful when facing Jinn, because Jinn have attack skills that can interrupt you. Let's move on to the main group. Like I mentioned before, the main group consists of a Mark of Pain caller and 6 spikers. Most skills are similar to the skills the solo assassin has, other than Fate Neutrality, the damage skills and the utility skills, which can either be Abbon Battle Standard of Honor, Abbon Battle Standard of Wisdom, Finish Him, You're All Weaklings, Unseen Fury, Mark of Rotgord, or Light of Deltramore. I'm pretty sure that the usage of these skills speaks for itself now. Let me briefly explain how a spike works. First, one of the assassins moves away from the group to make worms surface. Once all the worms have surfaced, he calls Mark of Pain or any of his utility skills. Then, the rest of the group uses their Abbon Escape or Death Charge to get to the worm spawn. Once there, they start using their damage and utility skills to kill the worm spawns. Everyone starts hitting the Mark of Pain target with a scythe to maximize the damage output. I'd like to note that worms can knock you down. This means that you have to time your I Am Unstoppable correctly to prevent getting knocked down on important casts like Shadow Form. Next up, I'm going to run through every level to explain what everyone's supposed to do. I've copied the area maps of Wiki and marked some points of interest. But first you need to get to the dungeon itself. Traditionally, right after leaving Sefala, everyone rolls a 100-sided dice. The unfortunate person who rolls the lowest number is supposed to run to the dungeon. Now, let's start with level 1. At the start of this level, the Wisdom Assassin pings the drakes to prevent the Norn from running off. Afterwards, the Wisdom Assassin activates his Abbon Battle Standard of Wisdom. Then, a few assassins cast their Shroud of Distress and Shadow Form standing in the ward. One of the assassins who gets the half skill recharge on Shadow Form runs to the door at the end of the level and glitches it to get to level 2. At the start of level 2, the main group stands back while the solo assassin glitches through the first door. Again, someone needs to ping a foe to make sure the Norn don't go loony. When the solo assassin is through the door, the main group is going to perform their very first spike. This means one of the assassins runs ahead towards the door. Once the worm surfaces, the spike sequence I explained earlier starts. At this point, the solo assassin should have reached the point I marked on the map. Here, he will kill the first Frostmaw spawn of this level using Sliver Armor. After the main team has killed their worm spawn, the door will open. Everyone moves towards the next point of interest I marked on the map. Here, everyone waits while one assassin moves ahead to the middle of the next room. Here, the second Frostmaw will spawn and 3 other worms will surface. Once they have surfaced, the spike sequence starts again. At this point, the solo assassin should have killed his Frostmaw spawn and rejoined with the main group. Once both Frostmaw spawns are dead, everyone moves towards the doorway of the last room. There will be a Jotun patrol in this room. Everyone stands back while the solo assassin takes aggro and pulls the Jotun away, creating a safe passage for the rest of the team. The rest of the team walks past the Jotun to kill the siege worm and frozen elementals located at the gate to level 3. Once these foes have been killed, the gate will open. Before I start explaining the third level, I'd like to mention 2 things. First, there are incubus patrols in each room of levels 3 and 4. Incubus are probably the most deadly creatures you will come across while clearing dungeons. Incubus use a skill called Soul Rending Shriek, which removes an enchantment of their target and daze it. Therefore, it is wise to avoid aggroing these patrols as much as possible. Second, on level 3 there will be a lot of Jinn. These Jinn have a melee attack that can interrupt the skill. It is wise to create a distance with these Jinns before casting important enchantments like Shadow Form or Shroud of Distress, to avoid being interrupted on these casts. Now I'll continue explaining level 3. On level 3, one of the assassins kills the first Frostmaw spawn using a stationary boulder located in the first room, while the rest of the team stands back. Once the Frostmaw spawn is dead, everyone moves towards the hallway. Make sure that you don't aggro any incubus in the progress. Here, everyone covers their shadow form with as many enchantments as possible. Then, everyone starts running through the hallway where a lot of incubus will pop. Make sure you use Dark Escape and I Am Unstoppable before you activate Feign Neutrality. The incubus will start using Soul Rending Shriek, which will remove enchantments of everyone. It is important for everyone to stay spread at this point and refrain from using skills like Aim and Escape that cause you to appear right next to someone else. The reason for this is simple. There will also be frozen elementals and ice imps around. They will use snares on a single target and anyone adjacent to it. Someone who gets snared in the hallway is sentenced to death. This is why everyone tries to run through and not just one assassin. Whoever gets through the hallway finishes up level 3. This person must have Death Charge in his or her skill bar. Finishing the level involves killing Frostmaw spawns using stationary boulders while avoiding incubus patrols and pop-ups. Note that it is best for only one assassin to continue after the hallway, even when multiple people survived. On level 4, one of the assassins runs all the way to the end of the level to glitch the door in order to get to level 5. No essence will be popped, so whoever runs needs to make sure that they are within range of quickening Zephyr while casting Shadow Form. Finally, the team has made it to level 5. Everyone moves to the Kinslayer room marked on the map, except the Light of Doldrumor assassin. Everyone in the Kinslayer room starts killing the larvs that spawn on the 3 locations are marked on the map. In the meantime, the Light of Doldrumor assassin should have discovered the secret switch and should have opened the secret passage. When all the larvs are dead, or when the siege worms start spawning in the Kinslayer room, everyone except for one assassin enters the secret passage. Here, the Light of Doldrumor assassin starts popping hidden treasures for everyone to loot. The assassin that remained in the Kinslayer room pulls Frostmaw the Kinslayer to one of the boulders located just outside the Kinslayer room. The boulder will squash Frostmaw and the end chest will spawn. I hope this walkthrough of this dungeon wasn't too confusing. For me it's a real challenge to provide everyone with enough information about this area while keeping it simple enough to understand. This will probably not be the only video of this sort I'll be making, so I would really like it when everyone leaves me some feedback. Of course, if you have any questions related to this video, you can PM me in game as Squeaky Spider Pig, leave a comment or reply to the forum thread related to this video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you in a Frostmaw Simway group sometime.